everyone, Sophia here. Welcome back to my Esty Shop, Frenchy and Tubby. I'm going to feature 7 new items and a fabulous jewelry set, vintage jewelry, coming up to the shop tomorrow, Friday at 5 p.m. Link is down below and up here. Let's get started with the thumbnail. Some of you already spotted it and already recognize it. We're talking Fenton. This is Fenton cranberry glass. Now, I didn't even know it was a Fenton, and I learned something as I was researching this particular item because it looks like Fenton in terms of the quality and the clarity and the shape. Everybody else online has this particular vase as a Fenton, but there was something a little bit different about it. It's the mark at the bottom. And here it goes. I don't know if you can see it. There's a star. So I thought that maybe this could be a pilgrim, but pilgrim didn't sign with a star. There was some polish from Poland companies that were signing with a star, but this is actually a Fenton. And I've learned that between 1996 and 1998, Fenton actually signed the pieces, other than the regular little sticker, signed the pieces with a star when the item was reserved to the factory store. So when you went to, I think it was Virginia, the Fenton factory, which you know is no more, when you went to visit the glass factory and you watched them make Fenton glass, you would end the tour with the store. And the items sold at the store between 96 and 98 were all etched with a star at the bottom. So that's how I know, one, it's a Fenton, and I can date it. So this is a fluted and ruffled cranberry glass vase. Cranberry glass is very difficult to make, and it's also very expensive to make. So when they make cranberry glass, they make it in small batches. It is made with gold. They put gold in the molten glass and add something equivalent of a metal, another metal. That would be zinc, sometimes copper, in powder form. And what it does is that once it dries or it sets, it gives it this pink hue. Not all of them are going to be exactly the same pink because they add all of the ingredients, and I think they add salt as well, as they blow the particular piece. So every single one of them is going to be different. Some are darker, some are lighter. This one is absolutely beautiful. So I'm moving it in front of my face, and I think that you can see that not only is it paneled, but it also has an optic swirl within the panels. And as I'm looking at it, I don't think you can see, maybe, it looks like it's clear on the outside and the cranberry glass is actually on the inside. And then the clear disappears at the neck, and this is all cranberry. This is top quality glass making. Of course, this is what you expect from Fenton. It's a simple shape vase. It's fluted, it's paneled, optic swirl, and it's ruffled. So the mouth here is not very wide. You probably can only put maybe 6-7 thick blooms in it. But look at this thing. Let me show it to you against a white background. Let me just grab any white background. Oh. Against a white background, this is what it's going to look like. Look at this sparkle and the color. It is stunning, and it's a collector's piece. So the second preferred, that's what they call them, second preferred, would make it to the store, and they would have a star to mark the date, 96 to 98. So that's how we know when this was made. Fenton glass. It's not super expensive, like it's not like a $200 vase or anything like that, because it was made for the store. But it still is a beautiful vase. So if you like Fenton, that one could be yours. And by the way, I've had questions about my glasses. I get them probably every week. If you like the glasses, the link is down below. It's from Joyous in the UK. You order them online and then you can have them put your prescription in it, or you can have them shipped to you with no actual lenses and have your eye doctor put in your lenses. But these are called Rita. And you remember I had them in black and gold. I switched to white and silver. Item number 2. This is amazing. I'm gonna give myself a little bit more of a close-up so I'm more in frame. Here we go. I think this is better. Okay, so Sophia, it's a box. Yes, it's a box. It's a obviously Chinese lacquered box. So this is very interesting because this could be considered to be an antique. It has antique components to it, but the box itself is not. So here's the story. And I know the rabbit hole in which I fell, so I could tell you said story. We all know that China pretty much invented porcelain, pottery and porcelain. We're talking thousands of years ago. And during the revolution, which I believe was 60 something to 1976, during the Chinese Communist Revolution, there was a big movement to undo the past and start anew. So they started destroying antique pieces of porcelain. Oh, I know. Vases, bowls, amphoras, you name it, plates, platters, anything that people could find. Museums were raided, but private owners also broke their own pieces as a symbol to the revolution and new beginnings. And that particular dark page in Chinese history gave the rise to a new movement. And that movement was called the charred box. Apparently, pieces that were broken, people kept the biggest or largest shards of it. And they started making, starting 1976, all the way up to the 80s, they started making decorative items using antique pieces of porcelain that had been broken during the Communist Revolution. So this is an example of it. The porcelain on top, which is inlaid, I don't know if you can see it, is an antique piece of Chinese porcelain. The box itself is hand carved, etched and lacquered, but that was probably made after 76 into the mid 1980s. The box itself is hand carved, but again they used a piece of antique porcelain. So here's the box. It is beautiful. So if you like chinoiserie or oriental items, this one's definitely for you, and it has a phenomenal history attached to it. So here's a close-up of the box, and you can see it's all etched and lacquered. Here's the top, where you can see how the piece of porcelain is inlaid in it, probably glued, nailed, I'm not sure. It doesn't show anything on the underside, and the entire interior is all lacquered. This is a jewelry box, a trinket box. If you have an affinity for oriental pieces or chinoiserie, this is for you. Now, the box, because it's handmade, is uneven, but I will show you how it's uneven. I can close it this way, but if I turn it this way, it doesn't fit. It only fits this way. And it's slightly slanted. It's totally hand-carved. Hand-carved wood, lacquered with an oriental design on it. I'm not sure what kind of flowers these are. They're not peonies, or maybe they are, I'm not sure. But it has an antique piece of porcelain inserted in the lid. I think this is absolutely beautiful, and it has so much history attached to it. It's not mad expensive, but it's interesting. It's definitely a conversation piece, so you can use it to store couple of pieces of jewelry, or if you want, you use it in your personal office and you put your paper clips in it. Or if you have an Asian theme already, just use it as a decorative piece on a pile of books, for instance, next to another white and blue or blue and white porcelain vase. They will look fantastic together. So again, this is what it looks like. It is gorgeous. I love this. I almost kept it. But I know myself. I fell into that rabbit hole. If I have one, I cannot just have one. I would be constantly on the internet searching for more. And I would have like a whole shelf of them. So, because I know how I am. So, you have it. There's one call out. It's very small. I don't even think you can see it. A little flea bite right here on the lacquer, and you cannot see it when it's in its position. It's only on the underside. It's super tiny. A little bit of Sharpie and that's it. You wouldn't see it. Chinese lacquered box. Late 70s, early 80s, but the porcelain could be 18th century, 19th century Chinese porcelain. I don't know. It's been sanded, so I don't see any crazing on it, but if you like that kind of stuff, I think this is unique. Definitely unique piece, and again, so much history behind it. I'm so glad they decided to keep the pieces and give them a new life by turning them into boxes. So charred boxes is what they are called. When I come back, we're moving into milk glass. Okay, milk glass. Another piece of Fenton. This is for the hobnail collector and the mid-century modern collector, because I here have a swung vase. So the swung vases are interesting because a lot of people collect just swung vases. I follow a few people online and on YouTube who do have swung vase collections, and they have like entire wall, and it's all those elongated vase. So it basically starts like a regular vase, and as they are putting the vase into, or the molten glass into the mold and press it, it stops just about here, and what they do is that they pinch it and they keep pulling at it. So it's got a very small opening right here. It's a bud vase. Only one bloom can go in here, but it's really cool. So it's the hobnail pattern, which I'm sure you know by now. I've talked about it so many times. Is probably Fenton's most popular pattern. There's hobnails, and then there's English hobnails, which is the one that's faceted. This is the regular hobnail. So the hobs are right here and here. There's none here on the cinch, on the pedestal or the foot, if you want to call it that way. And then all of this here is just stretch glass. This is a very nice piece. It is signed Fenton at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it because it's white on white, but you have the old stamp right here. This is from the 1960s. It's not a big vase. It's a bud vase, but it's a swung vase, and I know that I have collectors for this particular type of vases. I think it's really cool. I really like the opening. A lot of them you'll see with an opening that's scalloped. This one is just a it's very organic. Let's just put it this way. I think it's really cool. So 1960s milk glass, just like Westmoreland milk glass. This is very opaque. This is very thick milk glass. The vase itself is kind of heavy for what it is, but it's a solid piece and it's in perfect condition. I have no call out, nothing. Perfect condition. 1960s hobnail swung vase by Fenton. Not super expensive either, because they made those in large quantities. We're gonna stay in the white. I have pottery. Here is a cornucopia, also known as a horn of plenty. They were very, very popular in the 1930s. and fell out of fashion in the 1940s. And then we get into the mid-century modern, clearly not this. So this is more of a traditional look. They were used as planters, and they usually came as pairs. So ladies would have one on either side of their mantle, or if they had, for instance, two similar side tables in their living room or their calling hour room or formal living room, there would be one on each table, for instance. So you can use them as vases, and you can use them as planters. So you can either put a pot in there with a live plant, or you can put regular foliage, use it as a vase. Or, and this is what this one was for, you can use it with the florist foam and do a whole flower or floral arrangements that you keep all year long. This one had so much glue from the foam. It took quite a while to remove it, but I was able to do it. So this is made by McCoy in the 1940s. And I know it's McCoy, even though it doesn't say McCoy. I don't know if you can see it here, but it says USA. And those that say USA like this are McCoy. Shawnee made them as well, and Hall made them as well. I think what happened is that the original company that was making them in the 1930s went under, and other companies that were making potteries purchased the molds, and those molds were in multiple quantities, obviously. So all the companies got at least a couple of them and started making these. So you'll find them under Shawnee's, you'll find them under McCoy, you'll find them under Hall. I don't know if Hall Pottery made it too, but definitely this one is a McCoy. It says USA right underneath. It's a satin glaze. At a distance, it almost looks like a Hager. It's a ivory satin glaze, very similar to the Madonnas that I collect. And it's in amazing condition, considering it's from the 1940s. So this is almost an antique. It's 80 years old. The only call out is all the way on the inside, and I don't even think you can see it. Maybe you can, I don't know. There's some crazing with discoloration all the way at the bottom. And then right here, I also have just a tiny bit of crazing, which really you can't see. So Thanksgiving is upon us, and I think it's the perfect gift. Why not put a collection of feathers, full feathers, pheasants, turkeys, plumes, and use it as a decorative piece? I think it would look really cool. Or if you want, you can just put the foam that I just removed, put the foam in there and just do your little fall arrangement, put it on the table, or even as a centerpiece, why not? I think it's really cool, I like it. I wish I had two, I'm sorry, I only found one. When I come back, more pottery. So you know that I cannot pass a great piece of pottery. This is for the true lover of pottery. This is absolutely gorgeous. I say that about all the potteries that I pick. Look at this. Oh. This is a vase. Look at the glaze. Would you look at this glaze? It is absolutely gorgeous. I know I got a lot of light going on. Maybe I need to do something about that. Look at this. Okay, so this particular shape, it almost looks like a ginger jar, right? Except a ginger jar would have a little bit of a neck and then the lid on top of it. It's called a rotund shape, R-O-T-U-N-D. It's basically like a jar, but it forgoes the neck. So there's no neck to it. It is also glazed on the inside with very similar patterns. It's beautiful. It's hand thrown on the wheel. I think it's rather modern. I don't think this is very old, probably 1990s, early 2000. It is signed by an artist that I cannot locate. It is signed Fox right here. Not numbered, not stamped, just etched Fox. But it's absolutely stunning. What a gorgeous vase. And colors are really nice. So we have a little bit of hunter green right here on the mouth. And then the hunter green and brown colors are back underneath it. So it looks like it started with the green, over a dark blue background, and then Mr. or Mrs. Fox, because again, I haven't been able to identify them, added different shades of blue as a drip. This is what's referred to as a drip glaze. I think this vase is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. It's in perfect condition. I have no call out whatsoever. It's not even dirty on the underside. Gorgeous piece if you like pottery. Okay, my next item, we're going to go into glass. So this is for the true mid-century modern lovers. And you know that I have a thing for snack sets. Back in 1959, the United States, I love giving you pieces of history, and I think that some of you enjoy watching those videos because you get to learn some things, even though you may not necessarily purchase after the fact. And that's cool because I want to educate as well. So in 1959, the United States recognized Hawaii as a state. In 1960, Federal Glass wanted to commemorate the addition of Hawaii as the United States and created what they referred to as the Hawaiian leaf snack set. It came in a super cool box. I'm going to put a picture right here. I don't have the box because, well, it came as a set of 4 and I only have 3. But here it is. It's called the Hawaiian leaf snack set. So here's the leaf, Federal Glass, and here's the cup. And you can see right here that it has a little notch for the cup. These were very popular in the 50s and 60s during calling hours. People were still doing calling hours. Okay, ladies would come and visit each other in the afternoon after they've completed all of their chores. And this was the perfect thing to have because you could go into the formal living room or in the patio, for instance, and you could have your sandwich or your piece of pastry or fruit or whatever, and you would have your coffee cup attached to the plate. So you didn't have to juggle 2 of them. You could walk around, you would have your coffee, you would have your snack, and your other hand would be free for your cigarette. It was a culture, okay, back then. I don't know if you're old enough, but there used to be a time when you would go to formal dinners and ladies or even the gentlemen, everybody would have their own individual ashtray, their own individual matchbox, and sometimes they would even have 2 Chesterfield or whatever the brand was popular at the time ready for you after you ate dinner. It was a whole culture. So it goes with that culture. You can have your snack and your coffee and smoke your cigarette while standing on the patio chatting around. How about that? This is called Hawaiian leaf. I think it's really cool. It's a different design for sure. It's not super ornate, but you can definitely see that it's mid-century modern in design. I have 3. Again, the box used to have 4. So I think what happened is they broke one and they only had 3 left, and that's what was donated to the thrift store where I picked it up. The cups are really cool. Look at the handle right here. A little bit of almost like a candle wick design. And it's pressed glass. This is solid. The design is on the bottom. And it's a leaf, Hawaiian leaf. 1960, in perfect condition. The only thing that I have as a call out is one of the plates has been used. So one of the plates, let me find it. Is it this one? Nope. I bet it's the last one. Has a few, very few little scratches here from a knife, I guess. And I just love snack sets because you can keep them on your lap and they're always large enough to be able to stand or sit straight with that fear of tipping over. And because it has that little notch, again, you can have your tea or your coffee or punch, if that's what you're having, attached to it, and you don't have to juggle both. It all comes in one. So some of you probably remember that set because it was very popular in 1960. I don't know how long they made it for. I think it was just for that purpose, to commemorate Hawaii as a US state. So it's going to be a little bit heavy in terms of shipping because it's heavy glass, but it's a set of 3 Hawaiian leaf. So maybe you have one left and you need the other 3. Here you go. I have them for you. Okay. When I come back, we're staying in the kitchen. So I was just telling you that Thanksgiving is upon us. You may want to consider the cornucopia, but Christmas is also upon us. So we're going to talk about a beloved Christmas pattern, and I'm talking about the Spode Christmas tree. You recognize it. Of course you do. This is Spode Christmas tree, and this is number S3324S, shape number 42. This is the fluted vegetable bowl. You don't have to use it for vegetables. You can use it for your coffee bar, for instance, around Christmas time, right? And you have your little packs of marshmallows, your little packs of powdered chocolate to make hot chocolate, your little candy canes. You put all of that in there. But here it is. And it's a very well-known pattern, you know that, right? They've made it for many, many, many years. This one is from the 1980s. It's a 12-inch bowl. Again, initially, it's for your tablescape, and it's to put vegetables. Green beans, for instance. French green beans would be perfect in this. Even asparagus, if that's what you're cooking. So this one is in perfect condition. I have no call out. No chip, no discoloration, no scratches. It's almost like brand new. You can see that, right? So Spode, England, Christmas tree, and this is shape number 42, this fluted and scalloped vegetable bowl. Are you ready for jewelry? Okay. I can't believe I'm letting go of this one, but it's just not my style. This is a set, and I want you, if you're interested, I want you to go online and see how much people are asking for these pieces. You're not going to find this particular one. I haven't been able to find it. Nobody has it. I don't know if it's rare. I know a little bit about vintage jewelry, but not enough. But here goes. Back in 1925, a man named Gustavo Trifari created a jewelry company out of Hollywood, California, and Beverly Hills. And at the time, he was making solely high-end jewelry, fine jewelry, and he was catering to the Hollywood elites. 1925. During the Great Depression, there was a need for costume jewelry. And right after the Great Depression, there definitely was a need for costume jewelry. Jewelry became less expensive, but at the time it was made with the same technique than fine jewelry. That's what separates costume jewelry, like this BSK from the 50s that I'm wearing, versus fashion jewelry of today. Costume jewelry uses the same techniques than what you would find at a fine jeweler. So he was a very good businessman, Mr. Gustavo Trifari, because he figured out that if he was hiring a very well-known designer to partner with him, he could actually make costume jewelry that would become very popular, that would sell like hotcakes, and it would preserve the quality of his brand and the craftsmanship. So he hired a Mr. Philip, who used to be none other than a French designer for Van Cleef & Arpels. And this gentleman, Mr. Philip, was hired, I believe, in 1958. And he worked for Trifari all the way up to 1969. He created Crown Trifari. Crown Trifari is the high-end version of your regular Trifari. Mind you, Trifari jewelry as costume jewelry, just like this BSK here, is very high-end costume. Super high-end, great material. You won't see any fading on those pieces. They are not silver, they're silver tone or gold tone, but the alloys that they used do not fade, do not scratch, do not peel off. These pieces look brand new 50, 60 years later because of the quality. So Crown Trifari was the high-end version of the regular costume Trifari, and it was only sold in high-end department stores. Think Bergdorf Goodman, think Saks Fifth Avenue. This is a full parure, which is a full set from Crown Trifari that was made in between 1958 and 1969. So I cannot tell you exactly the date because I couldn't find it online. So here we go. I have a necklace. This is a filigree articulated necklace in silver tone. You have your traditional shepherd's hook with an extender. So at its maximum length, this is a 16-inch. At its shortest, it's a 14. So you can either wear it as a choker or a little bit more billow. Because it is entirely articulated, what it's going to do is that it's going to conform to the shape of your neck, and it will, you see that? It will fall flat. I have the necklace. I have the bracelet to match. It's a fold over closure. Here's the clasp. I'm going to close it so you can see what it does. It's a panel, also articulated. The bracelet is a 7-inch. It will fit most everyone. Okay. Nice closure. You heard it snap, right? So here's the bracelet. I'm going to put the necklace next to it. I think I'm going to invest in a bust to show you jewelry. Right? But wait. Hello. I have the chandelier earrings to go with it. It's a full parure. I want you to go on Etsy and type in Crown Trifari set, and you're going to see how much people are asking for those. We're talking hundreds of dollars. I'm going to stop the camera so that I can take off everything that I'm wearing so I can model the whole set for you. So here's the necklace, and I have it on the maximum. So it is at 16 right now on me. But again, I have a big neck. So if you're skinnier or thinner than me, it probably will go down a little bit. Look at this sparkle. Do you see how it stays on you and conforms to your shape? Here again is the bracelet. Okay. And all three of them are marked Crown Trifari with the little copyright sign. So the copyright basically means that it's after 55. The clips are in perfect condition. Did you hear that? Here's the next one. Okay, so they will clip on and stay on. This is a beautiful set. Absolute beautiful set. I am yet to see it online. I have not found it. Crown Trifari between 1958 and 1969. And here's the necklace. Would you look at this? Isn't it absolutely stunning? It definitely has a Middle Eastern feel to it. Morocco, that's what I'm thinking when I see it. And here's the bracelet. So you can see the clasp right here, the fold of a clasp. And these are all panels with articulation on each. So again, it will fall nicely on your wrist, and you just don't feel it. It's very light, even though it's metal. Isn't it nice? I think it's beautiful. So Crown Trifari pieces are highly collected, and as a set, they're hard to find. You can find maybe a bracelet here and there, or you'll find a necklace, but you can't find the earrings. So this is an opportunity for you to get an entire set by Crown Trifari. Call outs, none. Absolutely no call out. There's no fading. There's no discoloration. Even on the back of the ears, this is like brand new, but it was made in the 60s. It's absolutely amazing. I don't know how this happened, other than obviously Crown Trifari is amazing quality costume jewelry. So it was probably designed by Philip under the Crown Trifari brand. So this is an opportunity for you to get a piece of jewelry or a set that was designed by none other than the former Van Cleef & Arpels designer. How about that? And a French guy, no less. Okay, so I think I hyped it enough. Isn't it beautiful though? I mean, look at this thing. You know, I know why it reminds me of a Middle Eastern thing. It almost looks like a belly dancing belt. That's what it makes me, it reminds me of. Now, why am I not keeping it? Because it's absolutely fabulous, right? I'm not keeping it because I prefer pieces with rhinestone. And when they don't have rhinestone, I prefer pieces like this Trifari. That's not a crown, that's a regular Trifari. That's gold, and I love the satin finish on the gold. So you tell me down below which one is your favorite this week. I have a feeling it's going to be either the Fenton or the Chinese box, and of course the Trifari, the Crown Trifari set. All items will be in the shop tomorrow, Friday at 5 p.m. If you don't see the items right away on the page, click most recent, and if they still don't show on the page, when you click most recent, go straight to categories. These two will be in the vintage pottery. These two will be in vintage glass. Of course, this one will be in Christmas, vintage Christmas. This one will be in vintage kitchen, and the jewelry will be under jewelry, and the box will be under decorative items. So you can go straight to the category if you want to make sure you are first in line, okay? I will see you next week. You can find my page on Facebook and Instagram under Frenchy and Tubby. And if you want a link to the shop, it's right here and down below. And link to the glasses also down below. Thanks for watching. I see you